Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Friday Ramblings. We are here every Friday to ramble on about all things pop culture because, hey, that's what being a fan's all about, is just letting it free flow about things that entertain you. We're going to talk about one of my personal favorite video game franchises of all time. That's right, the news is hot right now with Dragon Quest's big announcement of Dragon Quest XII coming out due to their 35th anniversary. So I thought we would discuss a small fraction of the Dragon Quest spin-off games that have come up over the years. Because in 35 years, not only have they made, well, 11, counting the announced 12, main series games, but a lot more spin-off games. Because that's one of the glories of Dragon Quest, is the basic world building and aesthetics fit so many different style games. And joining me is Slime. This little buddy, for those of you who don't know, is the Slime. He is the mascot monster of the Dragon Quest series.
Hello, how are you doing?
He's my little plushy buddy. Plushy buddy, plushy buddy. Gonna stay on my shoulder, hopefully, plushy buddy. Nope. Whoop-a-doo.
Slime wants a kiss. Mwah, mwah.
These are the first monsters you encounter in most Dragon Quest games. I just little tag there. These are the first monsters you encounter in most Dragon Quest games. They're the weakest, but they are the most lovable. His little pointy head. So cute. So, Slimey's here is going to help us introduce some of these franchises. Now we're going to start right here with two new spin-offs. First is the Dragon Quest Builders series. Now, there have been two games in this series so far. And the basics of it is they are done in a Minecraft style game where you have, a world full of very blocky based objects, and you have to gather resources and build things up. Now these games, as would be implied by the Dragon Quest in the title, means that this world is themed around those iconic games and their monsters. Specifically, the two Dragon Quest games, or Dragon Quest Builder games so far, are based around the first two Dragon Quest games. The idea is that the world of Dragon Quest Builders 1 is based off a little thing they did in the first Dragon Quest game. When you get to the final villain, the Dragon Lord,
He's very big and mean. He wanted to conquer the world and throw it into darkness.
well, he offers the hero a chance, instead of them fighting until one of them dies, to team up and rule the world together. Now, if you say yes, you get an immediate game over, the implication being that the Dragon Lord tricked you into lowering your guard so he could ambush kill you. You say no, and the real final boss fight begins. Dragon Quest Builders is based on the premise of, what if the hero had taken the offer and actually had ruled the world along with the Dragon Lord? Flash forward some time, a new hero has arisen and is trying to rebuild the busted up world, which is all good fun. This leads to the second game, where big villain Hargon decides to instead raise a cult known as the Children of Hargon, designed to discourage building and cooking and to ban worshipping of the goddess, who is your typical Dragon Quest deity, under penalty of death. And so your main hero is a builder who starts off on a small island, void of civilization, where he must perfect his building skills so that he can help restore the rest of the world and prove that a cult based around not being creative and constructive is not a good group to run the world. This leads us all to, the big finale of that game, which is all well and good. Now, I personally haven't played the Dragon Quest Builder games.
Why not?
Well, Slimy, it's because I'm not a big Minecraft style guy. I don't mind like city builder games, like your classic Sim Cities. I'm emphasizing the classic ones there, folks, because that last SimCity game was kind of rough. But, something like the Minecraft just never really clicked with me as a gamer. And that's no throwing shade. If you love those games, great. Check out the 2 Dragon Quest Builder games. It's all good times. So next up, we get another game, or rather 2 games, in a franchise based on the hack and slash genre, specifically the going to war, taking out an entire army style, popularized in games like Samurai Warriors and Dynasty Warriors. This is Dragon Quest Heroes. Now, the interesting thing about Dragon Quest Heroes and its sequel, Dragon Quest Heroes 2, is while each game is basically its own standalone game by and large, and is 2 different, one for each game. Didn't mean to do that. One for each game. The original world for each game, they do allow you to, as you build up extra members of your fighting force, who you can swap in and out per mission based on whose skills you think are going to be best used for them. Besides the original characters, you do recruit several classic characters from the mainstream Dragon Quest games. So, not only are the enemies based off monsters from the main Dragon Quest series, but so is a large chunk of your heroes. And this is grand. I've played the first game. I've not played the second one yet. It is on the to-do list. And I love the game. As a longtime Dragon Quest fan and somebody who has enjoyed the hack and slash style games, it hits all the right spots. So, I will say, Dragon Quest Heroes definitely gets 2 thumbs up. Dragon Quest Heroes 2, I'm looking forward to playing because the first one was so good I have a lot of confidence in the second one. So, whichever one you want to get, go for it. Or, if you do have the Nintendo Switch, they will be releasing a port that contains both games so you can get them in one shot and play this compilation title. Get it all. Bam! Boom! These games, besides the main storyline mode, feature a lot of side quests and optional missions that make sure you do not blast through the game and 100% it in no time flat. You'll spend a lot of time leveling up, forging new weapons, and beating these side missions, some of which can get really hard. I have not 100% in Dragon Quest Heroes yet. Maybe one day. Next up, we have the Mystery Dungeon series. Now, the Mystery Dungeon series as a whole tends to be based around spin-offs of a lot of different games. Most people in America may be familiar with the Mystery Dungeon series through its several entries involving the Pokemon franchise. But, here's a little thing for you. Pokemon Mystery Dungeon games are relatively newcomers to the Mystery Dungeon series. The first Mystery Dungeon game, and along with most of the sequels from that first era. Blah, blah, blah. Help me out here, buddy.
Alright, the first Mystery Dungeon game was based off Dragon Quest. Specifically, the character of Talon from Dragon Quest IV, who featured in a game called Talon's Great Adventure, where the portly merchant went through a randomly generated dungeon seeking great treasures to help fund his building of his own weapon shop, as well as stocking the inventory of said shop. He would later get 2 sequels, Talon's Adventures 2 and 3. The Mystery Dungeon series would finally finish its Dragon Quest licensing, featuring the character of Yangus from Dragon Quest VIII in his days as a rapscallion young thief, which means the game serves as a prequel to Dragon Quest VIII, where he is now a thief with a heart of gold and a good guy. And older. Nothing wrong with being old. We all get old. That's true. But yes, these games, besides being dungeon explorers, the dungeon is randomly generated, which means every time you play the game, you have no clue what you're getting into. This can be a big deal. As such, the game is considered very hard, as you can't memorize the locations of the treasures and the most optimal route to get to them, as well as the fact that when you die, you tend to be stripped of any weaponry you have picked up during the game. Thus, there is a major punishment factor for dying in the dungeon. I have played the first one, and I have not gotten very far in it. You have to be a very cautious player in the early levels of that dungeon, constantly keeping an eye on your health and making sure you have a safe escape route so that you can have the couple minutes needed to heal yourself up or potentially escape the dungeon altogether. Dying is a horrible thing in these games. But it gave a lot of highlight to our buddy Talon, or depending on your translation, Tornico. Which means that, hey, it proves you don't have to be a muscular, handsome, young warrior to be the hero of a game. Now, this series, as I said, has not had a Pokemon entry in quite a little while, or has not had a Dragon Quest entry in quite a little while. Keep saying Pokemon.
Yes, because the last several games have been Pokemon-based due to the obscene popularity of that series. But you never know. Given most of the games were never officially commercially translated and released in America, hey, there's always holding out hopes for a compilation port. I would be interested. You know, put a little polish on them. Throw in some, like, image gallery, history stuff there. You can make a nice little Dragon Quest Mystery Dungeon quadrology compilation disc there. Somebody needs to look into that. Now we get into the really fun stuff. This is a series that has only had one game in it be released in America commercially, and it's actually the second game in the series, not the first. And it puts a lot of highlight
on our slime buddies.
That's right. A cute little slime like you gets the starring role this time.
Yay!
That's right. The Slime Mori Mori series, roughly translated as Slime with Gusto, is an action-adventure video game heavily based on the Dragon Quest universe, where your only playable character is a little blue slime named Rocket, who, in the first game, attempts to save his village of monsters
including his family and close friends, who are kidnapped by another group of monsters. Slime uses his body to attack opponents, including nasty little headbutts and, hence the name Rocket here, getting launched out of a tank for extra gusto and momentum. This would be a major gameplay component in the second game in the series, which is translated as Dragon Quest Heroes Rocket Slime here in America. In Japan, it would of course be Slime Mori Mori Dragon Quest 2. In this game, the tank battling takes center stage, although there are sequences outside the tank where you explore the world, the tank serving as your basically boss battle sequences. And you can, as you explore the game, gain optional upgrades and customizations for your tank, allowing you to build something that fits your play style, as you once again attempt to save all your loved ones with Rocket Slime Power! Boom! Fun times. Now, I own Rocket Slime. I've not beaten it. I got to a point where I kind of got stuck on it, set it aside, and that was several years ago. Unfortunately, as I keep finding other great games to play, I have not ever picked it up and finished it, but I do own it. There's a chance one day I'm going to finish it. If you haven't played tank-based combat, quirky games like this, it can throw you for a loop. It can be a little bit before you get a handle on the controls and what the game kind of wants from you, especially when it comes to the battles. But once you get the swing of it, it is a quirky, fun game. As I said, I do intend to pick it back up one day and play it some more. Unfortunately, I have a stack of games like this high that keep tempting me away, including a little something called Dragon Quest XI. Woohoo! So, you know, Rocket Slime came out for the original Nintendo DS. If you can find it in a used game store or on an online used game retail type situation, go ahead and pick it up. As I said, it's kind of a fun, quirky game, does not require knowing anything else about the Dragon Quest series, so you can dive right into it. Good times. The third game in the series once again became Japanese exclusive. Slime Mori Mori Dragon Quest III, The Great Pirate and the Tail Team, is a 2011 3DS game where they shift from tank battles to naval ship battles. That's right, instead of getting launched out of a tank's turret, our slime buddy's getting launched. I know. It's okay. It's not going to hurt you. You're a slime. Okay. BAM! Out of a cannon. Otherwise, the game is basically the same setup. You explore, looking to save the day and prove even the smallest slime can be a great hero if they have a brave heart. Prompting good fun times, being shot out of cannons and busting up bad guy ships. As I said, since I haven't played the game, I can't give much personal opinion on it, but hey, more power to you. So, we're going to come up with the final game now. And no, folks, we're not going to talk about Dragon Quest Monsters, because Dragon Quest Monsters has several games in the series, and it's so in-depth and deep that I'm going to give it its own separate video, which will be posted at some vague time in the future. Now, there's also many other one-off mobile games. There's a board game series called Fortune Street, where a couple games in the franchise feature Dragon Quest characters. But the one we're going to end on is a one-shot that is kind of like Slime Mori Mori, very unique in the Dragon Quest series. And that is Dragon Quest Swords for the Nintendo Wii. And again, this is a game that I own and I play, which is part of why I wanted to make it the big finale. And what makes Dragon Quest Swords interesting is you do have that classic RPG element of buying weapons and armor, upgrading them. You have access to spells, mostly from your partner. You get one partner per mission, but over the course of the game, you gain different partners with different support skills. So what makes this so unique? Well, because the individual stages are actually, well, they're not rail shooters, but they are on-rail games. For my less video game loving friends, a rail shooter refers to your classic games you would usually see in arcades, although many did get ported to home consoles, where your controller would be a gun attached to the cabinet, and your only job is to aim and fire. Aim and fire. Your controls are basically handled automatically. Once you beat all the enemies on the current screen, you move forward, eventually reaching a boss that's a little more difficult to shoot down and kill. Wonderful example of this is the House of the Dead series. So, what's that got to do with Dragon Quest Swords? Well, that's how Dragon Quest Sword handles its stages. Although instead of shooting a modern-day gun, you are armed with your sword. So it's a rail slasher game. That's right, this time you are aiming your sword swipes at various enemies on screen as you ride the rails through the stages automatically, self-navigating, with the occasional, left-right choice, until you reach the big baddie of this area and take them down. The basic plot of the game is that you're the son of a great hero who decides to step up and follow in your father's footsteps, most notably when the queen becomes possessed by a mask that was once worn by the big bad villain that your father took out in his time. Full name of the game is Dragon Quest Swords, The Masked Queen and Tower of Mirrors. The game features 8 main chapters with some post-game content. Besides your hero, you are joined by Prince Anlace, who fights to save his mother, Claymore, who is your father, now a offensive magician-based fighter due to him losing his sword arm in battle and thus no longer being able to swing a sword himself, and the priestess Florette, who's has a bit of a French accent and a habit of giving nicknames to everybody, declaring you, the hero, who, like in all good Dragon Quest games, can technically come up with your own name, she nicknames Blade. My Blade. In her cute little French accent, while she dresses quite unlike a nun, her dress style being more of the, hold on, let me make sure I'm using the right term here, folks. Gothic Lolita fashion trend. Which, for those of you not familiar with such fashion trends, tends to involve shorter skirts, a lot of dark clothing, stockings, big clunky boots. It's like this. The fashion works on certain people, but on Florette it works. Mostly because her entire character design was based around the idea she would dress in the Gothic Lolita fashion, which is kind of a big fashion trend in Japan. I don't star in this game, do I? No, you don't, little slime. Some of you get slashed up in the early stages. Aww. It's okay, though. You're a good slime. Nobody's gonna slash you. You're my buddy. You should check this game out anyway.
If you're a big fan of classic arcade shooter games, you'll be right at home with Dragon Quest Swords. The characters are fun, it's got a pretty engaging story, and because of the rail style of movement, you can focus on hacking and slashing your way through those enemies and not worrying about making tricky jumps.
That's correct, Slime. You've been a very good co-host.
Thank you.
So, there you go. There's a tip of the iceberg when it comes to Dragon Quest spin-off games. So, why don't we talk about the main series? There's a lot of info on the main series. And I thought this would be a good warm-up because, as I said, with the 12th game recently announced, I could do a breakdown video, but that would be involving 11 different games, most of which I have played. I haven't played 10 because it was an online MMO thing and was never actually officially released in America, which is sad. But I have played the first 9, and I will be starting 11 actually any day now. Or maybe I've already started it and I'm being sneaky on you because I don't want to admit I could go ahead and talk about it. But yes, there is a major franchise called Dragon Quest Monsters. That is another spin-off series. It is the most popular spin-off sub-franchise in the Dragon Quest series. That is going to get its own video. That video will be released probably in the next couple months. Because once I start talking about Dragon Quest, it's hard to get me to shut up. Still, I want to thank our buddy Slime. Who will probably be joining us for more Dragon Quest videos, because it's always good to have a guest host.
Yep. And because I'm so cute, I gotta help the ratings.
I really hope you do.
Like, comment, and subscribe, especially if you want to see more slime. Slime time, slime time. We all need more slime time. I want to see all you back in 7 days. Even if I won't be here, I'll be watching in the background. I'll be working on my co-hosting duties. Gotta practice.
That's true. You should practice. So, keep tuned. We're going to ramble some more. There will be more Dragon Quest coverage in the future. Because we got 35 years. That is a lot of content. And that's a lot of fandom. And that's fandom I've been hanging with for most of that 35 years. Probably, let's see. Almost 30 years of that. So there you go. Yep, I started with the original game. And that's the kind of memories we'll discuss in a future episode. So stay tuned for that. Bye-bye.